Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Bitcoin Vigilante. Bam, 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 bam. You can support our show with Bitcoin. That is a Lightning wallet transaction, which is really cheap. You can donate small amounts of Bitcoin for pennies on the dollar. Of course, there's great ways to support our show here. Venmo at Graham-Elwood, Rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is free to sign up, and then Patreon.com/Graham Elwood. It's a plethora of bonus content you get if you sign up for Rockfin or Patreon. One of the things we've talked about on this show for many years is housing. I was someone who lost my house in the 2008 housing crisis. I've done videos talking about how the two-party system and the bank screwed me over. And I've talked about since 2008 how it's gotten worse and worse. Where there's a new video out by a YouTube channel called The Perfect Union. I followed them a little bit. They do some pretty good coverage on stuff about the real reason why no one can afford to buy a house. So housing prices right now, nationwide, it's about $470,000, $470,000. In California, it's like $850,000 or more to buy a single family home. And we've talked about how rents are through the roof and what's going on. And I've mentioned to you that there are big hedge fund companies that are buying up all the property. Where they do this awesome segment. I want you to watch it, and it really explains in fine detail who's out there buying up the houses and how they're forcing people into eviction. They're not, and they're deliberately wanting us all to be renters. And neither party cares about this. They're going to give it lip service because it's an election year, and they're going to talk about it. We're going to fight for this, and the other party won't, but we will. And blah, 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 because these hedge parties, these hedge funds give both parties, the Republicans and Democrats, a lot of money. Remember now, Trump, Harris, Biden, the Republicans, the Democrats, they are all filthy corrupt. They are corrupt to the core. So just pick your poison on who's the most corrupt. That's really all you can do. So watch this. Let's watch this video. And this is a more perfect union. I highly recommend you watch their channel.
How am I supposed to compete with a hedge fund out of Texas on buying a home? It makes you feel insane because it's like there's a conspiracy against me at this point.
If you're looking for a place to live right now, you face a radically different housing market than people did even just 15 years ago. Home prices have gone up, rents have gone up, evictions have increased, and a whole group of would-be home buyers has been priced out of homeownership, becoming permanent renters.
People want to own the American dream. They don't want to rent the American dream.
They've been replaced by an industry that treats our communities and neighborhoods like a day trader treats stocks, just something to buy and sell to maximize return.
It's been catastrophic.
Really just a few firms have been able to target and corner the market here. And their business model is built on exploitation and on having a very uneven playing field tilted in their favor.
So who exactly is behind this? We went to the cities at the center of this crisis to understand how single-family homes became big business.
Yo nunca he hablado con los dueños, solamente con las personas que trabajan para el dueño.
For the last 7 years, Sandra de los Santos has rented this house in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now she's packing up. In a few weeks, she and her family have to leave.
Yo le dije a la compañía que hace 2 años la casa se venía llenando de moho, pero ellos nunca me habían hecho caso.
From the beginning, Sandra's had problems with the rental. Every time it rained, water flooded into the house. Then came the mold.
Mi esposo tuvo que cambiar esa pared para que no nos afectara, porque mis hijos prácticamente ellos cada mes estaban enfermando. Eran desvelos de mis hijos, no íbamos a trabajar por hacer todo eso y ellos no nos han compensado con ni $1. Nunca, al contrario, nos suben la renta.
It's been years since she's been asking for repairs.
Jessica Moreno is a housing organizer who's helping Sandra.
They got their rent raised every year. They do what they can to make sure the rent is paid every single month. And then on top of that, they still have to fix the home.
When she looked into Sandra's landlord, she found it's a Texas-based private equity firm that's among the largest owners of single-family homes in the country.
She rents from a corporate landlord called Amherst. Just in Charlotte, Amherst owns 1,583 homes. When you think of landlords, you think of someone that has maybe 2 houses, right? That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with, backed by Wall Street, corporations that own thousands of homes.
Sandra says she spent $25,000 repairing the house, and Amherst hasn't paid her back for any of it.
They actually have an office here in Charlotte, which we went to, and it's 2 suites that are filled with boxes. No one's there.
After Sandra protested publicly, the company finally contacted her and sent an inspector to the house. Then they offered her $2,000 to leave.
It's a slap in the face. Of course, she said no. She wasn't going to take that. Then they said that she would have to leave at the end of her lease. She was forced out of her community. And a lot of people are under that situation.
This is a problem that didn't exist 10 or 15 years ago.
Taylor Shelton is a geographer who maps the ownership of single-family homes.
Prior to the 2008 foreclosure crisis, large corporations were really not involved in the single-family rental market at all.
After the 2008 crash, Wall Street saw an opportunity in millions of foreclosed homes, especially in the Sunbelt cities hardest hit.
What the foreclosure crisis presented was a mass of available inventory for extremely cheap.
So when property values skyrocketed over the next decade, the proceeds went to Wall Street, not to the people who now rented the homes. The result has been a housing recovery without a homeowner recovery. By 2022, large investors were buying more than 1 in every 4 single-family homes sold in the U.S.
The absolute largest companies really there are 2. The first is Invitation Homes, which is a publicly traded real estate investment trust. The next biggest actor is Progress Residential, which is owned by a private equity firm, Pretium Partners, based in New York City on Wall Street. After those 2 biggest companies, there's really 4 more. Amherst Holdings, based in Texas, First Key Homes, owned by Cerberus Capital Management, American Homes for Rent, now known as AMH, and then Tricon American Homes. There's really 3 things that these landlords are able to do. The first is these landlords raise rent and fees at much faster rates than any other type of landlord. The second thing is that eviction is a really core part of their business model. Institutional investors are way more likely to file for eviction, not as a kind of last resort, but actually at the very first moment they're able to. And then the third thing is that we know these companies are actually producing worse outcomes in terms of building maintenance. So they are in effect providing a worse product for higher prices.
Wow. So, I mean, that really gives you the scope. And this is something we've been talking about on the show and I've said this before, since 2008, that's what happened. When the housing crisis hit, these hedge funds and Wall Street came in. They were never in the real estate game before, bought up everything. And now, like, that woman has paid $25,000 of her own money to repair that house. That's the thing. If you're a renter, that's the upside of being a renter. The landlord has to fix everything. But no, she has to pay that. So this is the problem. And this is why the American dream has been crushed. And Wall Street has stolen the American dream. And thanks to lobby money for both of these filthy, corrupt parties. And Donald Trump's not going to save you from this. If you think Trump is going to save you, you're delusional. And if you think the Democrats are going to save you, you're delusional. You're delusional. Both parties have allowed this to happen because both parties have gotten on their knees and put on chapstick and just given Wall Street and the Wall Street just pays them money. So this is why I buy Bitcoin, ding. So this is happening. And, I would suggest following that More Perfect Union YouTube channel. They do a lot of great work and a lot of great coverage. And what do I say on this show? Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. This is why I've been an advocate for Bitcoin, because it's the one area where regular working class people can actually acquire wealth. And if you buy Bitcoin, get it off the exchange and put it on a cold wallet, and I'm going to start making more videos showing you how to do that. They can't take it from you. They can take your house. They took 6 million. There were 6 million foreclosures as a result of the 2008 housing crisis, a crisis that both Bush and Obama helped create. And no one was arrested and no new regulation was made. Dodd-Frank was passed, but that is a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound. So really appreciate a More Perfect Union doing videos like this and doing great research out there, but this is what's happening. And just pay attention. If there is another debate, there was only one with Trump and Biden, where Biden got crushed and Trump took a bump in the polls, and then Trump had an assassination attempt, and then he got a bump in the polls in that, and he spent the whole week at the RNC going, Biden is a dumb old man, and then Biden steps down, and now Harris is running, so now Trump is the dumb old man. And I don't like Harris either. I don't like her. So I don't like either one of these folks. I will vote third party, as I always do. The state of California is going to vote for whatever corrupt Democrat they put in there. Both parties are awful. Never forget, both parties are awful. Both parties helped create the housing crisis of 2008. Both parties have profited from it. Both parties didn't prosecute anybody. And Trump benefited from that. They're all Biden, they're Harris, they're all awful. So, but this is it. What do I say? Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. So the American dream has been, Chris Hedges talked about it. There's been a 4 decades long corporate coup of this country. And that was the cornerstone of the American dream, was you bought a house, right? You got a decent job. You didn't even have to go to college. You could get a college degree, but you could also just get a good job. You could go to a trade school, earn good money, buy a house. That house eventually appreciates a little bit in value. You can sell that house into a bigger house. You can leave that house to your children. It provides intergenerational wealth. That's gone. If we're a nation of renters, we have nothing. Most Americans don't have any savings or asset because it's all going for rent. Rent should be about 20 to 25% of your monthly income should go for your rent or housing. Now rent is like 50 to 60%. And when they buy up all the properties, the hedge funds, including the houses and the apartments, that's how they jack up rents. We have enough empty units to house every single homeless person in the country times 3. So this country is going to try to shame you. Oh, you lost your house. You were dumb with money. No. It's a system designed to screw us all over. That's why I bought Bitcoin. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying this is what I did. Get out of the grip of the central banks. That's what they want to do. So follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, and buy Bitcoin, stack sats, hodl, get it off the exchanges, put it in a cold wallet, and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.